This video series is brought to you by Fleetpride, the heavy-duty parts and service authority.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Uptime!
That's right. Fleetpride is proud to present David the Truckman Sickles.
Hello and welcome to Fleet Uptime, an opportunity for us to talk about best practices in technology, truck parts, and service to help you maximize equipment uptime and profitability. My name's David from Fleet Equipment, and today we're talking with more masters of uptime on the topic of e-commerce and how they're navigating today's supply chain to keep fleets moving. They're Ken Clinchy, Vice President of Digital and E-commerce at Fleetpride, and Mike Harris, Senior Vice President of Sales and Operations at Fleetpride. Gentlemen, it's great to have you on. Thanks for joining me on the show today. And I want to get started, right up front here. So I don't care who you are, navigating the supply chain over the past couple of years has been a bit of a struggle for some fleets, all throughout the nation. And so, we're still feeling that now near the end of 2022. How are you managing through these material shortages and supply chain issues that are happening to the industry?
Well, thanks for having us, David. Great question. One of the major opportunities that we've taken advantage of is the extent of our overall supplier network. And I mention that because our supplier relationships are built on many years of strong partnership between our key suppliers and Fleetpride, and really across the entire heavy-duty aftermarket. And what that's done is that's allowed us to leverage the scale of Fleetpride. We have 5 regional distribution centers, over 300 branches across the network of parts and service. And that to support all of those locations and our customer base, we need a large inventory position. And it's been super important for us to keep an eye on our inventory investments, to make sure that we have the products that the customers need, when and where they need them, and to make sure that we have a good inventory position to support them at the right time. It takes a small army, I would say, at the same time, David, to support all of those customers and across the network. And that's done through our team members on the front lines, our distribution centers, as well as the team in the field support center here.
And then, so speaking of the supply chain, I see announcements about Fleetpride growing all the time. How are you managing that growth while simultaneously managing the kinks in the supply chain?
Well, having multiple levers for growth is important for Fleetpride, and a number of those are adding to our footprint, which helps us get closer to the customers, as well as investments in other ways. And as it relates to the supply chain, and I know we'll talk about digital here in a moment as well, for Ken to add some context to. But the supply chain, we focus really in 3 main areas: talent, I would say processes, as well as technology. And that's come in a number of ways. We've got an outstanding supply chain team today, from our business intelligence team, looking at replenishment levels across the inventory, but specifically also the process improvement initiatives. We've created a number of new roles as it relates to the talent I mentioned across the supply chain to make sure that we're a safer Fleetpride moving forward, that we're more efficient in our distribution centers, and all that relates at the end of the day to better in-stock availability for our customers. As an example of a project we took on with some of the new technology and data capabilities is something called VIO, that's Vehicle in Operation. We've taken a close look at where the vehicles are operating across the country, and we've mirrored that up with our branches and our distribution centers to take a look at the specific parts that fit those vehicles, to make sure that we're making the right stocking decisions, and have the right stocking strategy to maximize the vehicle uptime potential for our customers with the right inventory in the right place to be there at just the right time. It's been a major effort. A lot of strategic decisions went into making those changes. And it's been a large undertaking, frankly, for the team and the resources, the time we've spent to make that happen and bring it to fruition. But we feel really good about meeting the needs of our customers going forward from a supply chain standpoint.
Sure. And I know, of course, you mentioned having the right parts in the right locations at the right time. A big part of that, especially nowadays, is e-commerce. So I wanted to ask if you noticed an increase in fleets, completing their parts acquisition journey online, or do you still have a majority of your customers who want that kind of over-the-counter experience?
Ken, you want to take that one?
Yeah, thanks, Mike. I can jump in there and speak to that. We're really seeing fleets ask us to meet them where they want to purchase, and more where they want to purchase is online. And the reason is that it allows us to offer them more options. In this really tight supply chain that we're in, they're looking for alternatives. And digital allows us to offer them those alternatives. So Mike said we work really hard with our supplier partners to come up with solutions for our customers, and digital allows us to offer those alternatives to our customers in an easy to find way. And so through our digital experiences, Fleetpride.com being the main one, we're seeing more and more customers using Fleetpride.com. We're seeing them ordering more frequently on the website because it's just easier. They can get on there whenever they need to versus having to pick up the phone, possibly wait, run down to the local parts store. They can use parts experts through the chat feature. So we also have a fantastic chat feature on the website that our customers really love to use. We also try to connect them with their local branch. So the other thing that's really fantastic is all of the orders that come through our e-commerce site are fulfilled by our local branches. So they still are very connected to their local branches, even though they're placing their orders through that digital platform. So they don't lose that connection and that relationship that's so incredibly important in our industry. And so key to driving success and increasing uptime for those fleets.
Oh, great. And I understand that you have a longtime customer who's a heavy user of your e-commerce platform. Let's go over to them and see what their experience has been like. How important is the support system surrounding your e-commerce experience? Like, do you feel like you're missing the in-store over-the-counter experience when you're shopping online? And then part two is, what incentivizes you to keep going back to this particular e-commerce site?
Well, I can tell you, Dave, that having the quick access to find parts that we need for the jobs that we're trying to get out the door. See, in our business, customers come here because we get trucks in and out. Their livelihood is making money delivering fuel. Our livelihood is fixing them and getting them out the door so they can make their living. So by having the online access to see exactly what you need, look at the part, see it, order it, get it on its way, know your pricing, right? That helps streamline all the work in the shop, right? It cuts down on downtime, all of that stuff. The personal touch, I mean, we talk with our sales rep all the time. He's always available to us if we have any questions. And I can call him after hours. I could call him on a Saturday. He answers. And then all the counter guys we deal with, extremely helpful. But I think the biggest thing with the online is, especially when you have weird things everything's changing in this world, right? On the trucks, everything's new. There's stuff you have, I've never seen this part, but we need it, right? Well, you can match it up easily with pictures. So that's a big help that Fleetpride has going on, yeah.
Of course. And how about additional incentives to keep going back? Is there anything in particular, maybe a rebate program, anything like that's really helpful for you?
Yeah, so the rebate program that Fleetpride started offering is excellent. As you know, in this world with pricing of everything going up, from fuel to groceries, everything else, so is parts, so is everything else that we buy, right? So you get a rebate program that allows me to keep more parts on my shelf, right? I have more filters. I can get oil changes done. I have different things, the common parts that we use on trucks, if I can stock more of that because of a rebate program, that's going to help get trucks back on the road faster and get them back to work. So that's what we strive our business on.
Excellent. All right, so that was great. It just goes to show that having a great e-commerce platform can really make a big difference to your customers there. So I wanted to kind of follow up with that by asking, what do you feel like is some of the most important features to have on an e-commerce platform for fleets?
Yeah, so there's quite a few things, but really it comes down to transparency and visibility of inventory. So again, it's about, as Mike said, increasing that uptime for our customers. So we put all this investment into our supply chain, and how do we make it easy for customers to see that inventory and then to find that inventory? So we're putting hundreds of thousands of parts out there on the site. We're up to 680,000 and increasing. We'll be increasing that before the end of the year.
Wow.
And so the question is how do you make it easy to find those parts? So we're working on increasing our cross-references, so millions of cross-references on the site, making it easy to find it. And then for a lot of our customers, it's how do you quickly reorder the parts that you're using on a regular basis? So how do you quickly buy it again? So easy search features. How do you find your order history? So not just the buyers who are the folks that are working on the trucks, but also the back office the back office customers as well, who are going to use the site for looking up invoices, for tracking orders, and so making the site as easy to use as possible. And again, reducing the burden on our customers to find the parts that they need just continues to allow them to drive uptime in their fleet and provide solutions for them.
David, I would also add to what Ken's mentioning is the opportunity we've had to pull in the aspects from our team members on the front lines. And as they also use the tool, that has, in the e-commerce platform, that has helped us create a tool that's not only great for our customers, but also for all of our Fleetpride team members across the country that also interact on the day-to-day basis as it relates to looking up parts, the cross-reference that Ken mentioned, images. Some are more important than others, depending on the product that it is. Some of those parts are maintenance and commodities. Others are repair products that are much more sophisticated. And our team members help us also identify the opportunities there that we know our customers are going to be looking for, because it's also important for our folks in the front lines, our counter reps, our outside sales reps, the management teams, as well as all of the field support team members here in category management, sourcing, digital, all coming together to collectively build a tool with our customers that makes the best experience for everyone.
Oh, absolutely. And, I know that Fleetpride is known for serving all makes and models, so having that vast catalog of parts on hand, it's got to be easy, or you're not going to want to log in and do this kind of thing yourself. I know that you mentioned the cross-referencing, you've got the images. What else are you putting in place to make this a simple experience so when I'm going on, I can find the part I need and find it quickly?
So our goal is to become the first click in heavy duty. And the way that we do that is by investing in, one, a fantastic user experience, and two is really driving search, right? So any site that you're going to go to, the first thing that you're going to do is search for a part the majority of time. And so we have spent a lot of time and invested a lot into our search engine. It's key to our site. So you have to have the right data coming in, which I mentioned in cross-references, putting more products online for our customers to find. But then how do you get customers to the right part when they're looking? And so we have gone out and partnered with a fantastic vendor, an expert in this space, I should say, in the search space, who brings in machine learning, brings in a ton of experience in product search, to help customers get to the right part. So things like type ahead search, predictive analytics, things that can get customers where they need to go, because the heavy duty trucking industry, the data isn't fantastic. We don't have great data standards. And so Fleetpride as a pioneer in the industry, we're working to build out those data standards and enrich our data, but it's going to take time. And as we're working on that, we are investing in search and investing in product data to help our customers be able to find it without having to talk to someone, somebody who's been on the counter for 40 years. Now we have that option if they want to do that. We have the chat if they get stuck, but we've been able to make huge leaps and bounds in search using these technologies and these tools layered in with all of the data that we've been able to gather from our vendor partners who have been great to partner with, as well as these newer technologies that allow us to have more of a experience that you would expect, say, from an Amazon or more of a B2C experience. Sure. On that type of website.
And so you have all of these parts in these different warehouses. What do you do when somebody orders that part? You know, it's one thing to see the part you need and order it. It's another thing if you're waiting, weeks or a month to finally get that part. So how are you getting the parts that fleets need to them quickly?
Well, maybe I'll jump in on this one, David. I would say operationally, we've had to rewrite a number of our policies and procedures as we evolve the business, and digital plays a bigger role. For example, items such as once an order is placed, the time between that order being placed and the part being ready for pickup for the customer. So creating new standards and procedures in the branches to make sure that experience is consistent across the footprint, coast to coast, has also been a big learning. But it's also making us a better partner to our customers. Typically today, when an order is placed, that order will be ready for customer pickup within 1 hour. That's our standard. And it's not unusual for if it's the case where it's going to be delivered locally by one of our branches, that could happen within an hour to 3 to 4 hours, whatever that distance may be and route may be. We coordinate that local delivery pretty fast. And so those expectations also are dictated by the type of part and the truck down situation that the customer may be facing. As they inform us via digital or as they interact with the team, we respond accordingly. But the main thing for us was to give the customer the choices, so they can communicate to us quickly and easily via eCommerce what that situation may be, so then we can have it prepared or delivered as soon as possible.
Wow.
Yeah, and to add to that, I mean, the other fantastic thing that digital gives us is the ability to give customers more visibility into that supply chain. So we can give them the tracking, we can give them order updates that we couldn't give them before without that digital platform. So Mike, the teams in the field have done a fantastic job of taking care of our customers for years. We're now just giving our customers a platform to see those orders in process, to see the tracking, to see when they're ready, and to better understand when they're going to get their parts. And that's been a huge advantage. And as part of that, as we're managing, delivery, we've also been able to roll out new programs as part of our digital initiative. So things like eCash. So we have, I would call it industry pioneering program. That's a rebate program around eCash. So that's a cashback program for customers, open to the majority of customers out there who can go on the website, sign up, get 1% cash back for all of their purchases online. Another way that we're trying to get back to our customers, we know that it's been a trying time for a lot of folks with the supply chain. And then we're adding to that. We've got another pretty big announcement that's about to come out here on benefits of the eCash program, specifically around shipping. So we're constantly trying to add to this and build new ways to better serve our customers and to build on the fantastic, customer service and supply chain improvements that we've been delivering on over the last couple of years.
That's great. That's great. What if, by chance, I am one of your customers and I log onto your platform and I don't exactly know what I need? I have an idea, but how do I go about finding exactly that part that I do need without having to read, hundreds of pages of product descriptions and cross-references and things like that?
Yeah, I'll start with that, and then Mike, feel free to add in. So one, if search doesn't do it for you, so if the predictive search doesn't get you there and you can't get there with filtering down, so if you get a chance to try the search out, you'll see there's an incredible amount of filters and different ways even within search that you can get down to the part that you're looking for. You can start at a category level and drill down. You can start with part of a keyword, part of a cross-reference, part of an OE part number, as little as 2 letters, and start, and then try to kind of work your way to the part number. So the search engine is really, really flexible on what it'll take to get you there. If none of those things work, or you get down to 2 or 3 options and you're not really sure, we also have VIN decoding capabilities where you can enter in a vehicle and try to filter it that way. But if none of that works, we also have the chat option. And I mentioned it earlier, but it's worth mentioning again. So one of the things that we did early on was the staff chat with true product experts. And this was a big investment on our part. So instead of a lot of organizations staff chat with frontline customer service agents, we went out and actually pulled 40-year product veterans off of our counters and said, hey, we want you to work in chat to service our customers and extend the service that they're used to receiving on the counter, but in a digital fashion. And so if you get stuck, those chat agents are always there 7 to 7 Central Time, and they can help you to find the part that you're looking for. Even if the part isn't on the website for some reason, in the 680,000 parts that we have online, if for some reason that you can't find it in that 680,000 parts, they will even try to help you find it outside of that. Because at the end of the day, we just want to get the customer taken care of. And then we'll put you in touch with the local branch who will be able to fulfill that order for you. And so it's a fantastic resource. They can even accept images. So if you just have, again, going back to the search, we don't have search by image yet on the site. We may be looking into that in the future, but if you just have a picture of the part and you're like, I don't have a part number, I really don't know what this is, you just send them a picture. You can even do it from your mobile phone. It doesn't have to be on a desktop. You could be on your mobile phone. You can chat in, send them a picture. And those guys have hundreds of years of experience combined, and they can absolutely get taken care of. It's an incredible service, and I encourage all of our customers to take advantage of it. It's free. You don't have to be logged in. There's no catch. There's no sales pitch. I encourage everyone to use it because it really is great.
Wow. David, one thing to add to the technology Ken just described, I think it really is what we believe is game changing for the heavy duty aftermarket, is for Fleetpride to offer this new capability that Ken's describing, the millions of cross references that are there. That number grows all the time, again with feedback from the field. But if you imagine layering this new technology and capability on top of a wealth of knowledge, which Fleetpride is always been very well known for because of our talented people and capabilities and depth of inventory, I think that puts us in a really good spot and creates a tremendous amount of upside growth potential for Fleetpride as we bolt on and do more service as an overall business. The technology will also feed service opportunities for us and interact with those customers better in the future. But being able to make it simple for the customers, whether they want to call, chat, walk in and visit a store and work with their favorite counter rep they've known for 20 plus years, that knows everything about their fleet, or click one click away. And at the end of the day, we want to give all of those options and keep building on each of those as we look to the forward, as we look forward to the growth of Fleetpride.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Mike, Ken, I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for giving me kind of the inside scoop on your e-commerce platform. This was a lot of fun. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.
Hey, that's our show. Thanks for joining us today. You know what time it is.
This video was brought to you by Fleetpride, the heavy-duty parts and service authority. Contact Fleetpride at fleetpride.com to learn more.